What are the key metrics that you look at when you talk about scaling, and what have you learned in your journey so far?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Akash. I'm one of the co-founder of Moven Singh Technologies. So a brief idea about the company. We started in 2010. We were into we built a SaaS solution for the employee transportation, which is being used by almost like 150 odd customers, including Dell Technologies, right, and maybe Credence as well, right. So they're using our technology for employees transportation. And I think that's been hit very rightly by Sanjeev, right? As soon as the COVID really hit upon us, right? So everybody stopped going to office, right? So our entire SaaS model on which we built everything, it came to a standstill. And that was the exact place where the real innovation scale really kicked in, right? So we took a step back. We start thinking what else we can do, right? We know how to build an enterprise software at scale, at very large scale, right? And we know how to sell an enterprise solution. So keeping this thing in mind, and last year in June we all started talking about, okay, the world will go towards hybrid, things like that, and probably that we really found to be a sweet spot, right? We have bunch of good customers with us. Probably they may go to the hybrid scale, right? And that is the calculated risk we took in that direction, right? And we built a new product which is called Work in Sync now, which is exactly to enable hybrid workspace solution, right? Which is about what all different things an employee would require to navigate in the hybrid workspace, right? Now the things like you always have the desk. It is not applicable anymore, right? Everybody started talking about hot seat, right? Parking, right? Meal. So you think about every touch point that you have in office, whenever you want to go to office or we don't want to go to office, a very small problem like, when you go to office, you will see your colleague, right? But as soon as we start talking about, okay, 2 days I will go to office, 3 days I will go to office, but when you want to go to his office, you want to see your colleague, right? So these all different problems really, become a very complex problem. And we really felt that, maybe a software would be required for all the organization to scale their hybrid workspace model. Right, so keeping that thing in mind.
For you, I think, Akash, if I may just jump in and sort of understand here the kind of industry that you were into. I think it was very harshly hit by COVID, right? And in that sense, how do you now sort of see the future of hybrid workspaces, and how do you in the future? Because Sanjeev, I think he touched on this very important point in terms of creating forecasts. This is what your consumer wants now, but COVID is not going to stay here forever, right? How do we see it in the next 5 years? How do we see what is the meaning of a hybrid workspace in the next 5 years? Have you done that kind of assessment? Where are we in that space at the moment?
I think initially it was just our gut feeling that hybrid will become a new norm. And you just before this panel, before this conversation started, we all really concluded almost that we are going to have a hybrid model, because we all know that that human touch, talking is super important to grow, right? It's super important. So our model is very good in that way, and we also think there will be huge requirement for the mobility as well. Earlier, folks who were not thinking about providing the transport to their employees may start thinking about transport to their employees as an incentive so that they show up at the office. Right, so we really see that the new product that we have built, Work in Sync, and our existing mobility to be there, and and I think I'll tell you a very interesting part when we ran into this problem is which is actually the part of the scale, because we have one product which is mobility, which is mature, good, which is being used by so many people, and then we have another set of new product which is starting from zero, right? One is absolutely a teenager, a very grown-up teenager, and now you have a toddler. So that whole idea of really segregating the team, providing them the two different vision, providing them the two different goals, was a very key aspect for us to the scale. And we are okay. We did okay in terms of Work in Sync. We are almost at the 500,000 ARR now, correct? And mobility, we are really seeing it's jumping back. So as of today, if you really ask me, we are really last 18 months has been very harsh. Let me put this way: our overall business came to the 10% of what we were doing earlier, right? But the team which has been scaled and the technology we had built, it was all against the scale. I mean, in terms of technology and the business, it was very much harmonized, right? that we were able to really make that flip in a big time. And I think it was more due to the new technology, the investments that we did over the period of time, right? Because we were very clear in the new world, in the new normal, in the new technology, you have to really focus more on the velocity, right? If you have the right set of velocity, if you're using right tools, because you cannot really predict any future, right? It's very hard to predict future from today. What will work, what will not work, right? Whatever was very normal 2 years back, it has changed completely. So my take is that you have to really invest a lot on the technology and the people who are really okay to change. They are fine to change with time, right? So I think that this is very important, that
that's to scale. Okay, that's what you would. That's how you would cap it for now. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Akash, for those thoughts.